house with staircases that lead to nowhere, doors that open into walls, a vast network of secret passages, and all built non-stop across decades. But the real question is, why? Today, we're going to be talking about the fascinating Winchester Mystery House and the paranormal labyrinth it holds. So before we get into this paranormal case, just a reminder to like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. I make videos on true crime, mysteries and the paranormal, so if that sounds right up your street, then please join the community. Let's get back into it. Located in San Jose, California, the Winchester Mystery House is a mansion that was once the residence of Sarah Winchester, the widow of firearms tycoon William Wirt Winchester. The house was under construction for 38 years and features an incredible amount of eccentricities. Firstly, there are several staircases leading directly to solid ceilings and doors leading to solid walls. And on higher levels though, some doors lead to no rooms at all, but are dropped down to the lower level, or to the outside garden. There's also a seance room within the house and can only be accessed through one door, though it does have 3 exits, one leading to one such drop. Quite remarkably, the house also holds 10,000 window panes, more than the Empire State Building, and some of these were installed in interior walls or floors. So the Winchester Mystery House holds up to its name, and what makes it even more mysterious is that all of these oddities feel intentional. Born in 1839 in Connecticut, Sarah Winchester grew up to be a remarkably talented young woman and was fluent in 4 languages. Something else that made her stand out was her height of only 4 feet and 10 inches, but she made up for this with her intellect, with those who knew her describing her having sparkling charm and a sharp, independent mind. In 1862, when Sarah was 23, she married William Wirt and 4 years later gave birth to their only child, Annie Winchester, who sadly died shortly after being born. Years later in 1881, William also passed away, leaving Sarah a widow, and due to inheriting the Winchester Repeating Arms Company, she became one of the wealthiest women in the world. She would soon move to California in 1885, and there purchased a farmhouse that would later become the Winchester Mystery House. So what was the reason for the continuous building on this site? Legend holds that a psychic told Sarah she was being haunted by victims of the Winchester rifle, the gun that won the West, and that she should never stop building or she would die. Continuously building would supposedly appease these spirits enough that she would carry on living. She is believed to have retreated to her seance room every night at midnight to receive architectural instructions from the spirits on what to build next. In her eyes, she was subjected to the orders of these souls whose lives were cut short by the manufacture of her late husband's legacy. And like we said earlier, the room was built with only 1 entrance but 3 exits, and this was presumably to confuse the ghosts trying to follow her out. But was this belief real, or simply a way to make sense of the grief that she was struggling with? When Sarah moved into the property, known then as Leonardo Villa, in 1886, the renovations began immediately. The heyday of construction was reportedly from about 1890 to 1900, and during this decade the house grew from a small farmhouse into a 7-storey Victorian giant. Reports from 1897 describe a 7-storey tower being torn down and rebuilt 16 times as Sarah experimented with the design. Among the other features we've already talked about, there were also a multitude of interesting and odd features added during its construction. Decorative upside-down pillars were installed, as well as a switchback staircase to accommodate Sarah's arthritis, which was built with 44 tiny steps. There's also an obsession with the number 13 sprinkled throughout the house's design, seen with 13-step stairways, 13 panels in ceilings, 13 bathrooms, and 13 coat hooks in the seance room for various robes Sarah supposedly wore while contacting the dead. In 1906, the Great San Francisco earthquake caused the upper 3 stories, including that 7-story tower that was rebuilt 16 times, to collapse. Rather than rebuilding, Sarah sealed off damaged areas and expanded outwards, limiting the house to just 4 stories. When Sarah passed away in 1922 at the age of 83, construction ceased, with legend saying that carpenters stopped mid-task, leaving nails half-hammered into walls. This constant construction really reflects the state of mind Sarah was experiencing at the time. It's that lack of closure, almost a denial that she had lost her entire family. The maze-like design with no clear structure illustrates the confusion of her own psyche and a woman trying to gain a sense of control by tricking spirits linked to her deceased husband. Though the house does reflect a sense of fear, it also reflects a mind trying to cope. There's no final version of this house, just like there was no resolution to her loss. While the paranormal explanation is certainly compelling, it's not the only way to make sense of this house. Another theory could be that as Sarah inherited a huge amount of wealth, it could have been a way to keep workers employed, as well as a way to circulate money so that it didn't stay in one place, so the construction served two purposes here. Another is architectural experimentation. Though some features of the house seem strange, they may not have been irrational, but a result of trial and error, aesthetic preference, or rebuilding after damage, like in the instance of the earthquake. The haunted side of things wasn't heavily documented while Sarah was alive, and a lot of the paranormal explanations came about after her death, so stories could have been exaggerated or even invented to explain the nature of the house. The story we know today may not be the story that existed at the time. It's very possible that a combination of explanations can be true at the same time. It may not just be the paranormal responsible for the baffling design, or the emotional toil of grief, or a method of circulating money alone. It could well be a mixture of everything. Grief, control, belief, and how far someone can go when those things combine. And whether or not the house is haunted, it's certainly shaped by something powerful. And I think that's one of the reasons why so many people know about and visit the Winchester Mystery House to this day. First and foremost, it's the fascinating design work, but secondly, and very close behind, is the powerful sense of loss, which I can imagine is thick in the air when people walk around the site. Humanity is notorious at trying to make sense of loss, because it's a reminder of how fleeting our time really is, and this attempt at control when there is none can show up in so many ways, and when it's seen in a form such as this, it's hard to look away. And that is it for the infamous Winchester Mystery House and the sad story of Sarah Winchester. I really hope you enjoyed this one. If you have any thoughts on this at all, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. And as always, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next video.